What is a new era of gacha games?
Let's pretend for a moment that you're a normal person. So someone who likely isn't watching this video right now. And you're walking around your city and you see this ad. Would you find it odd? Many might find it—
That's a great question. Usually I would just think, damn, look at those boobs.
—inappropriate for children to see in such a public place. And this is actually the—
I mean, I do kind of also feel weird every single time I walk around with a GamerSup shirt with like my characters Triple J Mega Milkers with like cum all over them. And I'm like, eh. But I've kind of grown numb to them over the years.
censored version, which arguably makes it look a lot worse than it actually is. And there are even some crazier ads out there for some games, but a lot of us are already really desensitized to seeing something like this. Frankly,
I mean, dude, it definitely goes in like the same thing with like sex or like getting blown. Like, I feel like porn has affected the way that we fuck tremendously. To where like people be doing shit that like you can do that in anime, but you cannot do that to a real person. Right? Where like you know, like you be going a little bit too hard and like you're not supposed to be going that hard, you know what I'm saying?
it's already a bit absurd.
Yeah, you all have sex, right?
That what's basically a gambling game is legal to advertise publicly, even to children, and isn't rated as 18+. However, if you've been paying attention to gachas at all, you may have been noticing a more common trend: the coomerification of gacha games.
It's great.
Making all of the characters more appealing to the eyes, removing more clothing, and increasing their proportions. And
yeah, it's awesome.
I'm not against it, I'm merely pointing it out here. Now, gacha games have always been this way since time immemorial, way back when during the gacha Big Bang. We've had games like Fate Grand Order and Grand Blue Fantasy near the beginning, trailblazers of the genre, both of which have some risque designs, eventually leading to some next level Coomer titles like Azur Lane and now Snowbreak, which are hard to say is anything other than just softcore hentai, but now we're starting to see some of this become more mainstream and popular, and I'll explain the reason why. The main reason for this would be money.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
But there's—
I mean, we've seen the quadrupling to octupling of gacha games revenue every single time summer rolls around and a game releases a bikini skin. Sex sells 1,000,000%. Now, however, the result that nobody saw coming was people also wanting to fuck dudes, because we all thought that no women played gacha games. Then Love and Deep Space came out, and we realized, yeah, some people want to fuck dudes too.
Actually more to it than that, and a huge reason that most people don't realize, which we'll be explaining over the course of the video. This has actually led to male character removal in some games, up to the insane situation of gacha players taking down an entire governmental agency.
That's insane.
Which we'll be explaining later on in the video. So what are the causes of coomerification in gachas, and where do we go from here? That's what I want to cover in this video, and if you enjoy it, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll be making more videos like this.
Okay.
I think most of us have heard the phrase before: sex sells. And
I just said that.
Oh boy does it. Especially in anime gacha games. Players froth at the mouth to get their next super hot waifu and buy her bikini skin, sending these games' profits to the moon. But
I'm telling you, if they release a Raiden Shogun bikini skin, that game will break 9-digit revenue. 1,000,000%.
would never do such a depraved thing. Now in China, they have super strict rules about sexual content, so you may think, well, things must be pretty tame then, right? Wrong. Remember that both Azur Lane and Snowbreak originate from China, and they are peak degeneracy. But how can this be possible? Simple. They just censor the games in China, but release them in their fully near-naked glory to the rest of the world. You may remember that in Genshin Impact at one point, they added alternate outfits for the standard characters like Mona and—
No, okay, they didn't release alternate outfits. That's less than truthful. Okay, what happened is that China deemed these outfits were too sexy, so they had to cover them up. And then the other country said, bro, if you cover up our girls, we're going to stop fucking playing. So they had them cover up in CN, and they gave it as a free skin option in the US.
Gene that covered them up more. Well, these are the basic skins in China, and you have no choice but to use them. People will also often report game companies to the government if they're pissed at something in-game, and then blame it on things like it being too sexual to get the company in hot water with the government. You can also look up the Bunny Girl incident in Honkai 3rd as an example.
A joke.
Now, I don't even get how you're supposed to censor Azur Lane at this point.
I don't know how he skips past the Azur Lane bunny incident and doesn't explain what happens. So what happened was is Honkai Impact 3rd released a bunny trailer, a bunny suit girl trailer everywhere else but China. So then Chinese residents tried to kill the CEO of Oyoverse. It was insane.
A whole ass trash bag over them, but whatever. Gacha games have always been more male focused, even though, you know, half the planet is female. However, recently we've been seeing more male characters in the average gacha, especially with the release of Genshin.
It actually pisses me off how girls are starting to like get into gaming. And okay, so you might say, oh, well, that should be good. Well, no, because what girl gamers are is they're tourists, right? And they're frauds. And they've been in here a lot shorter on average than men. And so now our games are polluted with low skill level gamers that we have to fucking deal with. And then even worse, it makes the men angry and hate each other because they all want to fuck the female gamers. And so it just makes everybody suck at video games. Yep, it's the worst. They're all fucking tourists. They're all frauds. I'll be real, man. I feel like we need to like separate males and females in like ranked game lobbies, right? Have a female queue and a man queue, and then see how that goes. Okay, and then have government issued ID cards, all right? Because I'm not dealing with this shit anymore, man. I'm not dealing with it anymore. Get women out of our games. I don't want to see them. Okay, better yet, we'll give the women Minecraft and Roblox, and the men will keep League of Legends and CSGO and Valorant. Okay? Yep. And we'll keep Minecraft.
Impact, which
better yet, they can have Valorant too.
Featured more male characters than most other gacha games. And as it turns out, women are just as horny as men for these PNGs.
No. Hot take. I think women are more horny than men. They are, in fact, more horny than men. It is absurd because now they have to prove themselves. So now they'll just be saying shit like crazy. Like, oh, I'm ovulating. Oh, I need him to breed me right now. And it's just like, wow, bro. I don't know what it is. I feel like dick jokes are funny, but vagina jokes are cringe. Am I crazy?
This has also led to more female-focused gacha games such as Love in Deep Space, which are succeeding because of this untapped market of games focused for women. And if you thought birth rates were bad now, then how am I even supposed to compete with that? Unfortunately, a lot of men are not very happy about this kind of competition in their games, which leads us to one of the big problems plaguing Chinese gachas at the moment, NTR. Now, if you don't know what NTR is, well, it's being cucked. Having your PNG waifu stolen from you by a much more handsome and attractive individual who probably even showers or walks outside of their room more than once a day. Something
Do you like real women? No. You say sexist, Twitch chat says based. We're not the same.
Completely unachievable, unobtainable in the modern era. But where does NTR come into play? Well, one of the recent incidents was a year ago, and essentially a character in Genshin named Wander was really popular among female Genshin players, but hated by male ones because he's very arrogant and just a total jerk, really.
No, it's because he looks like a pussy bitch.
So happy just to see the sun again. How childish.
There were already some tensions lurking below.
He looks like a soy cuck.
So many male banner characters introduced in the Sumeru region, which many players disliked. Tensions eventually exploded with this character's story, leading to a ton of male gacha gamers to become enraged that they were having their game destroyed and potential waifus being taken from them by this guy. A 10-year-old looking kid with a big funny hat. The literal personification of sex appeal. The god of Riz. No woman can resist him. This is what peak performance looks like. If you're not only losing to a PNG, but this PNG out of all of them, you really have no game and you're probably gonna die alone. So a ton of players hated this guy, right?
That's just so heartwarming.
Well, then he committed the worst crime of all. He interacted with a character called Naida, and she pitied him and wanted to help him. So now you had the NTR men and the Lolicons teaming up to display their hate. They did things like hurting animals that supposedly reminded them of Wanderer, doxing MiHoYo employees, a classic, spamming the community with hate.
You know what I found out the other day? Apparently Japan hates lolicons too. I thought it was like, just like, okay, some people are just like that in Japan, but apparently they also think that they're fucking freaks in Japan too. I'm actually bringing in a resident of Japan to kind of explain like how things actually are in Japan about lolicons, and how the lolicon community has gaslit the community into thinking that they're the ones that are weird, not them. It's gonna be great.
Also a classic. Harassing the VAs, even reporting the character to the government, which, like, what the hell are they gonna do? Ban Wander with a law? Now, seeing the hatred in this one instance helps paint the picture of how many of these players feel, but it's far from the end of the NTR train. So then another game comes along called Girls Frontline 2, and admittedly, the company behind it, Mika, doesn't have an amazing reputation for many reasons, possibly also having to do with the beta version of the game that, when uninstalled, bricks your entire computer with no chance of recovery. But the game itself looks nice. Maybe it's got some issues though. It's basically XCOM with super high quality looking waifu characters. Nice. The game releases and it's going alright, other than a bunch of smaller dramas and some gameplay problems, but hey, it's probably better than the Wuthering Waves launch. Then they put up a beta build.
I stand by the Wuthering Waves launch was the best launch of all time because we got like 8 free 5 stars.
For an upcoming patch for the character Diane. This is where all hell broke loose. She now wore a
Yo, chat, would you lag in Genshin for 2 weeks if you knew you were getting 3 free 5 stars at the end of it?
lightning pendant. Where'd she get this? It's this guy's. His name is Raymond. Supposedly in the story, they talk a lot to each other. He looks like a background character from the anime Cells at Work, and he's also banging your girl. Well, supposedly anyways. The community goes ballistic. Everyone's review bombing, content creators are memeing the game all over. Raymond is probably claiming another one of your girls as we speak. Shut it down. Shut down everything. Well, then supposedly the company did an apology. The community hated it. They also possibly bought reviews. The community hated that too. They even apparently changed Raymond to a female character, just removing him entirely. This overall irreparably destroyed the game's reputation until today, and it almost looked like the end of service for it. But fortunately, it seems to be coming to the West as well, so I guess we can see if the game's actually an NTR simulator. I'm ready to get cucked. Now, you may also have heard of a game called Azure Promilia, a highly anticipated game of an amazing open world where you can explore and, oh no, concept art was leaked for a male character. The fans went ballistic on Bilibili, asking for answers, not wanting to be cucked once again. There's so much cucking going on over there, it's no wonder they have over 1 billion people at this point. Well, then the company had to make a formal statement to assure them no male characters would be added to the game to stop all of the rioting. As you can see, this appears to be a common issue in the gacha community in China, and now many games are afraid of making male characters in general for their games. Not only do they often sell less, but now they can get you into hot water with the fans. Male characters in games are dangerous waters, just when they were starting to get introduced into games more. But where should the fans turn to? Please, God, I need a game with a self-insert character and only hot women. No disgusting men that can see them except for me.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Coomer Messiah Snowbreak Containment Zone.
Really?
We have hit literal peak design and story, the Mona Lisa of gaming. A game so shameless.
Really?
It became renowned for its absurd outfits and its groundbreaking story of you canonically starting a harem and also canonically marrying multiple of these girls. It's part of the lore.
What?
It's completely natural. Meaning, if you don't marry...
Chat, if this video gets 8,000 likes, I'll play 4 hours of Snowbreak. Yep. Like the video right now, if we get 8,000, I will play Snowbreak for 4 hours.
Multiple girls at the same time, you are literally not playing the game correctly. But the game wasn't always like this. Originally, it was just a third-person shooter gacha game with some waifu characters, and it was steadily going towards end of service. It was like the Titanic. It had run into an iceberg, it was leaking money every single month, it was dipping below $1 million a month, things weren't looking amazing. Then around in April, they had a genius idea. Let's make the ultimate Coomer game. Remove 70% of clothing and create a first-person dorm system.
Okay.
Dear God, we've done it. Scantily clad wedding costumes.
Wait, all of
dorm
this is in
systems where you can
Snowbreak?
interact with the characters in a first person, even massage them. Check.
All this is in Snowbreak?
70% of its revenue is from PC, and the July mobile game revenue tracker estimates around $7 million. This game's popping up every month now. Snowbreak became so infamous, it's become a common term to describe games going the Snowbreak route, when they start to go full Coomer. Gaming is saved.
Why have I not played?
There appears to be a lot
Is that Snow?
of popularity recently with Coomer gachas. We even have a game called Nornium coming up, and holy, what a cultured game. They even named their beta
Oh
a
my
4-play
God.
test. And yeah, this game's also gonna be on Steam. Thanks, Gaben. So, China not
Dude, the title of this video, the pornification of gacha games.
only seems to have an underlying
good.
dislike for female characters in gacha games, but also loves scantily clad female characters.
I'm gonna play
so
that
what
shit too.
kind of games do you think we'll be seeing more of in the near future? Now let's move a bit around Asia and now
China.
focus on South Korea. There's one big incident I wanted to go over that I teased earlier in the video, how degenerate gacha players defeated the government. June of last year, 2023, South Korea began
which
to
Korea
really
is the good one,
crack
guys? Is it
down on
South or North?
sexualized games. The Game Rating and Administration Committee, GRAC, is a government agency that essentially rates games
South,
and
okay,
determines
gotcha.
what ages are allowed to play them, similar to the ESRB in the West. For anyone who doesn't know, porn is banned in South Korea.
That's so
However,
lame.
they have a ton of other things that can be over-sexualized, such as gacha games.
Oh
Now,
my God.
most gacha games are rated as being a 12+ game or 16+, depending on iOS or Google Play stores, such as Azur Lane or Goddess of
Holy
Victory
shit.
Nikkei. When games are 18+ or for adults, they're unable to do advertisement or
Yeah, this, what a great image. These are all of the players of gacha games that aren't 18+, and this is the one gacha gamer playing the game that is 18+.
any promotions
They're
on
not
the
the
App
same.
Store, and they're much harder to find, and as many know, marketing is everything. Now comes the star of the show, a game named Blue Archive.
Oh, stop.
A 15+
Stop.
teen rated game
Stop.
that has a very, very dedicated community.
Stop.
We're going to have them stuck in the wall. Yeah, and so, I heard that idea and I said, you know what, you can be the employee of the month.
Originally a
fuck 'em
Nexon
out.
game from Korea, it became a worldwide phenomenon, especially in Japan, I wonder why. So dedicated that at the recent Comic-Con, which is essentially Japan's Comic-Con, they had more Blue Archive art and booths than any other by a large margin. Essentially the plot of the game
Jesus.
is you're a sensei, or teacher, at a school for a bunch of superpowered girls that police the city and deal with threats like gangs or terrorism. However, some of them are dressed a bit, well, you know. And oh, also,
I mean, I'll be real, man. I got no idea who the fuck whoever this
Yeah, no.
is.
No.
I don't care who that. I mean, fuck them. You know what I mean? That they're hot as fuck. I don't even care. This chick and the blonde hair one and the bunny suit are hot as fuck. Who cares?
And oh, also almost all of them are canonically under the age of 18, like they tell you specifically. Some aren't even old enough to play their own game. Great, thanks for leaving no room for doubt on that one. Now the important
I mean, once again, bro, like, you gotta understand. You're gonna lose your mind unless you understand one simple fact. Body type is what you should be looking at because the age in anime is gonna fucking make you go nuts. Okay, if you justify Kana because he's 3,000, but then you damn Jotaro because he's 15, you know what I mean? Like, you're just gonna make yourself go crazy.
thing is, the GRAC set their sights on Blue Archive, which would end up being their biggest mistake. The senseis of Blue Archive will die for their students. So they made the decision to change the age rating to 18+ because of some of the character designs, essentially making it an adult game.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be able to do much promotion either. But what the GRAC didn't know is that the senseis were united and would not take it. The senseis, only 5,489 strong, signed a petition to the South Korean government accusing the GRAC of unfair treatment and corruption and asking them to be audited, anything to aid their students. What they didn't know is they were exactly right. The National Audit Office investigated the GRAC and found that not only were they exaggerating work done and mislabeling games' ratings to pretend to be working, but there were also accusations of embezzlement. It turns out they were using government funds for Bitcoin mining and laundering the rest. Blue Archive superfans had accidentally uncovered a corrupt government fraud agency. People were fired and prosecuted, and the entire agency's business operations were actually suspended for a time. The senseis had taken down the literal rating board for games in their country temporarily.
That's insane.
A game I used to play an insane
Holy
amount of,
shit.
Epic 7 at one point, was trying to censor some of its characters.
Dude, we need a new game like Summer's War, like Epic 7, but in like a 2025 polish. Like the new turn-based RPG PvP game, like we need that shit bad.
Or its age rating was actually going to be raised. So, yeah. I guess that rating board was getting in the way of the designs people really craved. And do we even need to discuss games like Goddess of Victory Nike? We all know who and what these games cater to, and they're all absurdly popular. Finally, something I wanted to mention is even the most popular gacha games made by Hoyoverse have begun to embrace this behavior. You can't tell me that
they're falling
Honkai
off.
Star Rail, Jade's trailer, wasn't literally just her as a dominatrix
Absolutely.
mommy with a whip,
Dude,
and
Jane
men on
Doe
their
was straight
knees
porn.
before her sweating.
Jane Doe
And
was
now with
straight
Yun Li,
porn.
they non-stop focus on her feet in every single shot they can. Even her ult animations,
Which I really don't get why they didn't just make this character an adult. I don't get the Yoon Lee fetishization. I just don't get it.
shows them for no reason at all. There's no way it's a coincidence. Then look at Zenless Zone Zero.
Yes, sir! The best damn game on planet Earth.
You have Zhu Yan's trailer, and a third of it is focused on her massive ass. And then also
Yep.
Jane Doe's butt jiggles when she walks. And also look at Nicole. I mean, just
Yep.
her design overall is really
Dude, if we ever get old Nicole back, I'll come. On the spot, man. On the fucking spot, bro. I miss these days.
sexual. Even the largest gacha companies' games are embracing the Coomer audience more. Now, what do all these incidents have in common?
Money!
They all contribute to having games become more sexualized and cater towards the Coomer audience.
That's great.
These were just some examples, but there's honestly plenty others. However, there is
Dude, when you're horny, you won't think, you will quite literally just swipe.
one game that transcends all of this. It goes beyond to another plane. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks a bunch for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll be making
Dude, Genazad, love you, dog. It was great meeting you at TwitchCon. Great fucking videos, great fucking channel, brother. Appreciate the fuck out of you, man. Hey, good content. All right, boys, let's all go jerk off together now.